Hello. While doing some of my usual shopping for parts off of other Hot Wheels cars, I came across this pretty decent Camaro. Oh, it's probably about a 71 or 70 through 73 model, probably a 71 or 72 because it appears to have something of a tiger nose, but it actually has a tall rear spoiler. So I'm thinking, probably, I don't know, maybe 72, 73. But regardless, I got this wild idea. With me being into cars like I am, car movies have been a big, important part of my life. Back when I was a kid, we had stuff like Smokey and the Bandit, and I discovered the Road Warrior, and then we had stuff like the Cannonball Run, which was lighter hearted. And a little bit later on in life, probably, I started searching for more and more car movies because I wanted more and more because there was a lot that I didn't know about. And I ran across one from 1976 called the Gumball Rally. And out of all the sea to shining sea race movies, this by far is the best one. And in that movie, it had a very young actor, Gary Busey, who you've seen in many things over the years. Right off the top of my head, I think he played in the Buddy Holly Story. He played Mr. Joshua, the bad guy, in Lethal Weapon with Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. But back in 1976, he played an obnoxious car mechanic for a race car driver who and he would hang out the window of the car acting crazy, blowing a whistle. And they rode in a 1972 or 1973 Camaro of this vintage that was painted yellow. I think it had Kragers on it, but I couldn't find anything that was close. But it does have this hood scoop on it, with minus the center section there, which is made to look like a Corvette hood. But like you see here, that's the hood scoop that was on the car. It was painted, I think, a pale yellow, like a butternut yellow, but I can't have that. We're going to go with something a little bit brighter yellow. And for my wheels, I brainstormed, and I've been looking at these Street Fighter trucks, which I have totally no interest in. It's a neat casting. It says Ford Transit Super Van. I never saw any vans from my decades that had a front end like that. Maybe somebody can help me out here. Either way, it's a nice casting. It's a metal body, and it's got some badass modern rear rider wheels. They're not Krager SS's, but they're a cool road rally wheel. So maybe I can make some kind of cool van project out of this later on. Get rid of these stupid tampos. I don't know what they're thinking with all these weird tampos on a nice casting like that. So what I'm going to try to do, take this car, cut the hood out of it, put this hood scoop on it, and we'll save this. I'm not butchering this whole thing. I'm going to cut it out so I can do something with this. Maybe stick a motor out of the hood and tub this thing out, because I got some fatties and skinnies for this. And we'll do something with this later on, because I don't want to destroy it, because I like the casting. I love Novas. And we're going to use the wheels off of this on the Camaro. So let me crack these things open and we'll see what we have. Okay. I cracked them apart, cannibalized the wheels out of the Street Fighter van, and put them on this, and already that's like 110% improvement from them stupid looking Hot Wheels wheels that they had on this car. Now, we could just go ahead and strip it and paint it and leave it at that, but you know me, I can't do that. That would be just too easy. So what we're going to do now is some surgery. I've put the Street Fighter band, as the Grease Man used to say, a local DJ around this area, back in the hopper. And we are going to do some gratuitous paint stripping. I know everybody loves that. So, stay tuned when I'm over at the sink. Boy, that orange paint really lifted off fast. Look at it. Holy crap. And there it goes. Wow. This is actually pretty neat to see. Well, looks like this Mr. Camaro is ready to be washed off. Got my brass brush. My super thin invisible gloves made out of the same material that Wonder Woman's invisible jet was made out of, if you remember that. The invisible jet was from the 70s when Super Friends was as close as I got to all this superhero hype. Of course, who can forget Linda Carter on the live action? I think that was my first girl crush next to Daisy Duke, along with a lot of kids that were people that were my age. Wow, that stuff really lifted right off. This is a pretty nice casting too. We'll evaluate the castings here. Okay. Look at that. Look at that. Clean. Now for the Nova. This actually wasn't that bad of a tampo on this Nova. It reminds me of something I would see at a car show back in the early 90s. A lot of that stuff was going around, then flip-flop paint came out, and then it was all that craze. But things have kind of settled down as far as color-wise go. Now, in the car field, I still love my old-school candy colors. Like I say, things have toned down. No more heartbeat lightning bolts on the Chevrolets, and the flames have died down. I've always liked ghost flames, but it's kind of overdone now. So if you got an old rat rod or street rod or something, it's cool. But when you see a Dodge Caravan running around with flames on the front, you know it's going too far. And I've actually seen that. So there you go. 2 clean cars. We will see you over at the... Hello. As you can see, I got a little bit wild with Dremel tools and cutoff wheels again. So the Gumball Rally Camaro, I did a little bit of filing and get some root. Since this is going to be a full custom, we did a little bit of filing. We're going to do some more filing to remove some of those mold marks. We cut the 66, 67 Corvette Stinger hood scoop out of the Nova, and we grafted it to, we actually took a Dremel tool bits and burred down. I made a pattern on the hood and kind of burrowed down into the hood of the Camaro to recess the Stinger hood scoop. And then once I got it to where I was happy with it, where it was level and it was flush, I did my baking soda and super glue Bondo treatment, which I will sand and file and sand, and then we'll go with some red spot putty, automotive spot putty, and clean that thing right up. I also removed the front bumpers at bumperettes, and I'm going to make room for some of those Hella style round white driving lights that go on the front on either side of the grill. I think I know where I can cannibalize some from on a modern model, but I know it looks, the hood looks horrible now, but wait till I start filing, it'll really start to come together. So this is really going to be what set out to be kind of a simple project. I had to get simple with my Dremel tool, so stay tuned for more fun. Trust me, it'll work. Hello. Okay, after quite a bit of sanding and filing and wet sanding, I have it pretty well where I want it, except for the few Dremel tool marks where the Dremel tool got away from me, which I can fill in with red spot putty, which I have to kind of blend this hood scoop that I've mated to this Camaro. But I'm telling you, this thing has the full look. I got the Stinger hood scoop on it, and I'm getting ready to try to figure out what I'm going to do for running lights. I also have been working on removing the bumperettes and marker lights for the Tiger Nose, which the one in the movie was just a 72 or a 73, so it did not have those. So, and like I say, when you put your CB driving lights, it'll probably go, they were right here and they were painted white on either side. So I got to figure out something to make for those, and I got to finish cleaning this up. So, oh, there it goes out of focus. So, but it's looking pretty good. You can almost hear Gary Busey hanging out the passenger side, blowing a whistle, giving a rebel yell. So if you haven't seen the movie and you like car movies, I highly recommend it, the Gumball Rally. Check it out. I'll see you after the next. Alrighty, here we are with the first coat of primer. As you can see, this car is starting to take shape. I just have a little bit more wet sanding on the front half of it. Back half's pretty good. And as you can see, I put 2 driving lights on it, which all I used was 2 the small Allen screws that are self-tapping from the Redline shop. They'll get painted white when I'm done. I just drilled 2 holes in the front, tapped 2. Let's see if you can see it. Drilled 2 holes and then tapped them with and actually I didn't need to tap these because, well, here we are. Drilled 2 holes and put the self-tappers in the front, and here you have it. I'll just hold it. If you look at the car from the movie, this fits pretty well. So, got the correct hood scoop. I got to do a little bit of wet sanding on it, and maybe a little bit more primer, but it turned out pretty well. I think this is going to be a quick, easy build, and hope you enjoy this. So, let me do a little wet sanding, a little bit more priming, then we'll do. Hello, everyone. Well, we got this Camaro pretty much ready for paint. And while I was out tonight, I found this really cool Super Bee that had Kragers on it. But the only problem was they were too damn thin. They look pretty cool. They got wide ovals on it. They're very detailed. But, yeah, not thick enough for this bad boy. This is like probably one of the first pro touring cars that was ever made. They didn't realize what they were doing because it was just a movie car. So, it has to have big wide meats all the way around that all match. So, this makes it a little bit more accurate. I took 2 tires off my Justice League Vector wheels and put it on there, and I think that's going to look pretty good. But I need to make longer axles, as you can see, which is not a big deal. So I think that's the look that I'm going for. Nice big wide tires all the way around with Kragers. So we are historically accurate now. This baby's ready to lay down some yellow. I think I'm going to use, let's see what the tackle box has. Here we go. X8 Tamiya with a touch of X2 white. We'll mix it up, make it just tone it down just a touch. And then I think that'll work. So let's go paint this baby. Okay, everyone. I mixed up my color. I toned the yellow down, the X8 down with some white, just a little bit. I didn't want to take it too far because I still want that bright canary yellow color. But I did that, mixed in my X20 thinner. Got a nice milky consistency if it was yellow milk. So let's go ahead and do some shooting. I'm going to shoot this lower air dam first. Okay. Set that there. Okay, here goes nothing. Light coat on here. Oh yeah, that'll look nice. Looks mean. little hand now. Alrighty, I think that's a good coat on the car. The clear will hide everything else. And it turned out pretty good anyways. The only thing that sucked about the Gumball rally was they rolled that Camaro in it. All for the sake of Hollywood. Damn that Gary Busey. Alrighty, there we have it. All nice and pretty. Okay, we're back. I got these wheels all ready to go on. What I did was I put the slicks off the other rims that I had on here at the beginning, and the only problem is I have to make longer axles. So what I got is I went to the local hobby town and got this piano wire. Number 502, 047 music wire, which is the perfect size, and for like $3 you get this whole mess of the stuff. And I got that, and then I got some 3/32 by 014 aluminum rods. And what I'm going to do is like what everybody does. I'm going to file where the clips are out. We're going to put a piece of this aluminum rod in there, and then we'll stick the piano wires through the aluminum rods once they're super glued in there, and stick the wheels on. So that's what I have planned. Right now I'm just waiting for the paint to dry. As you see, nice sneak preview of how nice and shiny the Camaro turned out, and it turned out really nice. So stay tuned. Okay, and we're back. And we just started with a generic 1970 through 73 Camaro. I think it was after I did a little bit of research, it was a 70.5 Tiger Nose that had been made into a road racer, and we turned it in. We ground off the marker lights and the bumpers and added, what are they, CB driving lights on the front, just like the movie car. We cut the hood out of a poor Chevy Nova, which had a Stinger hood scoop off like a 67 Corvette, and we grafted it onto this bad boy. And we sanded and we filled, and we used a lot of baking soda, super glue, and spot putty. But I think the end result you're really going to like. And if you know this movie like I do and love it like I do, you're going to love this car. So here you go. 1972 or 73 Camaro Z28, done in Tamiya yellow with a touch of white, doused in X22 clear. We got the M2 Krager SS's on it, just like it had in the movie, and the tires are actually Hot Wheels off the road race wheels that we had when we first started, to give it that nice meaty look. We got custom axles in it, and we got, like I say, and we got the CB driving lights on the front. And this is actually one of my favorite builds so far. I like this one better than the Lamborghini. This thing just screams 1970s. And like I say, the story behind this car, like I say, rumor has it that during filming they blew the motor in it, so they went and rented another Camaro from a rental company, pulled the motor out of it, put it in this Camaro, and finished the movie. Of course, at the end of the movie they rolled the damn thing over, but that's a kind of a useless cool movie thing I found out by reading about this car a little bit more. Some stories say that this was one of the earliest pro touring style muscle cars built, And it does have the look. It has a 60 series all the way around on it, and lower air dam, sits real level, nice and level. Just like a lot of Pro Touring muscle cars that have been built today. The only thing is different, they got like 18-inch wheels on them or something like that. But this one I'm real proud of. You can almost see Gary Busey hanging out the passenger window acting a fool, blowing a whistle. So there you have it, the 1972 or 73 Camaro Z28 from the movie The Gumball Rally. If you like road race movies, I highly recommend it. It's not only this Camaro in there, they got the Ferrari Daytona Spider in there, and they have the original Shelby AC Cobra 427 car. I think they actually used 2 for the movie. They got Porsche 911s. They got crazy dudes on 2-stroke street bikes. And the list goes on and on. But those are the main characters. And it's a great movie. If you ever seen a Cannonball Run and you were kind of disappointed and you wanted more out of a road race movie, make sure you see this one. You will absolutely love it. Now I'm promoting a build that I was in. I guess international co-op style build, restoration, whatever you want to call it, between Time Riders, Wee Little Cars, Rob at Matchbox Garage, and Nick at Matchbox Restoration, and me here at Hodges Hot Wheels and Diecast. They were nice enough to include me on the monthly builds and / restorations. And for May, they are doing construction vehicles. So I picked out an early Moco Lesney BMC cement. It's a number 26A cement mixer, I think it is. You'll see it in the little slideshow advertisement I put at the end of this video. And if you haven't seen last month's, there was only 2 of them. It was Time Rider and Nick from Matchbox Restorations. They did the BP truck and they did the SO Ford Wrecker, and they turned out beautiful. So I highly recommend you go check those out. And like I say, next month we'll have 4 of them, 4 construction vehicles, all Matchboxes. I think Rob is doing a really cool piece of construction equipment. I can't think of the name. They all have really long British names, and I can't keep up with them. I wrote them down on the little advertisement I'll do at the end. So I hope you've enjoyed this build as much as I have, and keep watching, because I'll be doing a lot of TV and movie cars builds, and along with regular restorations of Matchbox and Hot Wheels. And thanks for watching to all my subscribers. If you like what I'm doing, hit that like button and just hit subscribe and see what I'm going to do next. I mean, as you can see, April 1st was kind of crazy, and I like to mix it up a little bit. So stick around to see what I'm going to do. And enjoy your weekend, and I hope you enjoyed this video.